Good afternoon and welcome to another Case SE Tips video. In this video we'll be talking about barcode scanners and how they interface with the Case ecosystem. Today we'll be covering our video in several parts. Part 1 will be about understanding simply how barcode scanners work. Part 2, using a barcode scanner with Case. Part 3, inventory control using a barcode scanner, and Part 4, importing new assets using a barcode scanner. In Part 1, we're going to talk about how barcode scanners work because there are many misunderstandings about what they can do and their role inside of a modern IT infrastructure. Put quite simply, a barcode scanner is just an easy way of translating a barcode into text, whether that be numbers and letters or a combination. Now, today we're going to be focusing on the barcode scanner that you see on the screen. This is the most common type of barcode scanner. It's just a simple USB device that registers itself quite literally as a keyboard on your computer, and when you scan a barcode, it types those numbers into whatever window or whatever view you're looking at. Now, most of these barcode scanners can be configured to chain other key sequences onto the back of them. So as soon as you scan the number, it also presses enter, say to perform a search. Or if you're in Excel, it feeds down one line to prepare for the next line to scan the next barcode. But quite simply, all a barcode scanner does is give you the ability to type and input complex numbers to minimize errors or to put in a large amount of numbers quickly. The second type of barcode scanner, which we are not going to talk about today, is this type of barcode scanner, which is a barcode scanner attached to a computer. A lot of these you've seen inside of grocery stores, or a lot of parcel carriers carry these types of scanners, and basically what this is a custom-built interface on a mobile PC to go ahead and allow them to scan and perform inventory actions. Currently, the Case system doesn't have any type of system set up for these types of devices, as they generally tend to be very expensive, and as well are very proprietary and locked into the software behind them. So we'll be focusing today on the standard USB barcode scanner that you can get on almost any website or eBay. So let's take a look at what the input looks like. If we simply open up a Word document, I've got that exact barcode scanner that I showed you earlier, and we scan a barcode, you can see when I scan it, it just simply inputs the numbers, and then I've got my scanner set up to go down one line. And so if I were wanting to document a large number of items, I could just simply go along my list and scan down my list of items and input the numbers. Now this makes a lot of sense when the series of digits are long and complex, because it'd be difficult to type this in with any type of accuracy. If it's a short string of digits, you can generally just type it in just as quickly just by reading it and typing it in on your keyboard. And the same function works inside of Excel. Or any other system. And in this case, Excel is just formatting my numbers. And so we just have to change the formatting to where we can see the entire number. So that is quite simply how most barcode scanners that people would use for the Case system function. They just translate the barcode into numbers and letters and type them into the computer wherever you're selected on the screen. Here in the second portion of our barcode scanning with Dell Case, we're going to talk about just using a barcode scanner inside of the Case system. So because we discussed in our previous section about where a barcode scanner is useful, just inputting long strings of numbers, you understand by now that just scanning a barcode simply puts the numbers into whatever field you're selected in. So if you log into your K1000 appliance and you were to click in this field and scan a barcode, it would type the information into that field. And that goes for any field that you select inside of the case appliance, whether it be global search, search down here, or adding a new asset. And so we can help you simplify some of your searching if you just simply want to find an asset. You can easily come up here to global search, scan the barcode in, and assuming that it finds an asset, it'll go ahead and pull it up. In this case, it's a projector that we have inside of our system. Now, another common use of a barcode scanner to make your life a little bit easier is when you get a new asset into the office and the serial number is long and you don't want to manually type it in. To utilize it in this type of capacity, we would come into the corresponding asset area. In this case, we're going to add another projector. Click on the new asset, give it a name. This is the brand new Dell 10,000 series projector. Click into the serial number field and scan the barcode. Now you can see that it automatically exited. That's due to the configuration of my particular scan gun, in that after I scan, I've programmed it to press enter. Depending on the scan gun that you have, you can set that up to where it doesn't press enter for you, or maybe you have it press tab to go down to the next field. I'm going to add this one into room Z11 and change the last inventory date to today. In part 3, we're now going to talk about doing some inventory control functions using a scanner. Again, this is just to simplify your life, making it easier to not have to type in large strings of numbers manually. So we've got a series of projectors right here, and it's important to keep an eye on where these projectors are. We may have deployed them out to conference rooms, maybe loaned them out to different people, but at least once a year we need to go back and inventory and make sure those assets still exist. Are they still functioning? Have they been removed or switched rooms? And so on. So with a K1000 and a scan gun, it's really easy. You could take a laptop around with your scanner and go room to room and just simply perform an action like this, where we do a global search for the asset. When we find the asset, we're now going to change the last inventory date from back in 2011 to today. Double check that the room is still A10, that it hasn't moved or gone somewhere else, and save. And then repeat that for each room and each projector that we have inside of our facility. Now, once that's done, what you can do is either run a report or just do a simple sort to find out which systems and which projectors were last checked out and when they were last inventoried. And then go track down the ones that after you've done your inventory sweep don't show as having the newest date. And maybe they were stolen, maybe an employee just moved them without you knowing, maybe they got locked up in a cabinet somewhere. But the point is, you can go and do an accurate inventory and know what you have out there. And then after a certain period, if you are unable to find an asset, go ahead and mark it as lost or depreciated or stolen or some other inventory disposition. Now, in part 4, we're going to go ahead and talk about importing new assets into case. And some of this is just general asset import, and other parts of it are more specific to using a barcode scanner. But let's say we just got a big shipment of projectors in, and we want to scan them in all at once. You could do it manually by picking a new asset, scanning each individual field, and then clicking save. But if you had, say, 75 assets that would probably get very time consuming after a while, and you might not want to do it that way. A quicker way to do that, to import a large number of assets, is to get our file into a medium where we can rapidly scan from box to box in a quick manner. We're going to do that by exporting our file here into Excel, and you can see it basically pulls up each one of our fields. And what we'll do, we'll just delete out the information that we have right here. We're not too worried about having it in there and making it available. And now we would go take our box of projectors, and we're just going to scan the information in. So what I would do is I would give them all a name. So we're going to say that this is the Dell 2100, and just for simplicity's sake, we're just going to increment those numbers. And then I would go along, click into the serial number field, and just quickly scan each projector serial number. Assign them to a room if I wanted. A22. We're going to say these are all going to go into the same room. And then give them an inventory date. So 2/15 of 2012. Now, it's important to make sure that whenever you're scanning, Excel oftentimes looks at the number and interprets it differently, and so you get these weird scientific annotations. Just make sure, format the cells to a number and remove out the decimal places. That way you get exactly the right number. Now, once we've done that, we need to save it as a CSV file. We're just going to call this new projectors. It'll pop up a little warning here saying that you're going to lose some features, but that's okay. That's common with CSVs. Now we're going to go back into the case system, and we're going to go to Asset Import. Browse to our file. It does include a header row, and pick what we're going to import it against. In this case, we were importing projectors. And now we just need to go ahead and map our fields. So they should be the same since we exported before we imported. So the asset name is our name, serial number, it's the same thing, the room, and the last inventory date. Now if we've done everything correctly, we should see we want to insert 3 records. All this information does look correct. We'll import the data, and now when we go to view our asset type of projector, we can see that our new projectors are in the system. And that's simply, again, how you can use a barcode scanner to increase the functionality of your case system simply by automating some of those mundane tasks of typing in long serial numbers, which quite frankly is one of the biggest reasons why very few people keep an accurate inventory, simply because serial numbers are difficult to manage. Now, this can be done, again, a barcode scanner can be used on almost any barcode, custom made or custom printed barcodes, to keep track of any number of fields, giving you the ability to scan these in and quickly search for assets. Thank you again for your time, and we hope you appreciated this Case SE Tips video.